Okay, so I know you're probably super excited and eager to get going here, but before we actually start playing with Arc and building out some useful spaces and content, I want to take you through one other really critical step that I think is important. So we're going to go up here in the Mac to Arc in the control panel here, and we're going to go to Settings. You can also access this by the shortcut Command, comma on your keyboard. And that's going to bring up this settings panel of Arc. Okay, so first and foremost, notice here I get my cool little user icon and everything. I get this where I'm going to need to verify my email, which I'll go ahead and handle here in a bit. But the thing I want to bring your attention to first here in settings, even though there's a lot of different stuff, is profiles. So let's go ahead and click on that. All right, so here it says your profiles, and I've got personal, and it says one space. So you can create and use profiles in other browsers. In Chrome, you can effectively sign in to multiple Google accounts. You can essentially open a new window in Chrome, sign in to one Google account, then open another new window in Chrome and sign into a different Google account. And in theory, if you signed into, say, your student email Google account and your personal Gmail account in two different windows in Chrome, you would have one Chrome session dedicated to your student account and one Chrome session dedicated to your personal account. Great, right? That means you can work effectively in everything related to your student account in one Chrome browser instance, and then everything related to your personal in another. And I can show you that real quick. So let me go ahead and open Chrome. Okay, so here we are in Chrome. And up here, I can click on this and I can choose to sign in to this account. So here I can choose sign in. Okay, actually let me go here. I'm going to sign in, and let's say that I signed into this account, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and authenticate myself here. And after I authenticate myself, I'm going to also sign into a separate instance, just so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay. So I'm going to say no for now. Okay. And this is Mark, and we're going to do instructor so that I know that this is for me here. Okay, so here in this Chrome instance, I am signed into my YouTube account, my Google account. So that means if I go to YouTube here, when I get to YouTube, I'm going to access specifically my YouTube account, right? Really cool. If I come over here and I choose to sign into another profile, so let's say that I choose to sign into a different one that I have. Okay. Okay, so now what you'll notice is that I have both of my accounts set up. So I've got my personal account here that I can access. And if I go to YouTube here, I'm going to be signed into my personal account. And the same would be true if I went to Gmail. Okay, whereas over here, I'm going to be on my instructor account. So that seems great, right? Like I've got two separate accounts working in two separate Chrome windows. The problem, as you probably can already guess, is I'm having to work in two separate Chrome windows. This is where Arc really kind of finds its stride. These profiles represent those two separate instances, and as you create what are called new spaces in the sidebar, you can assign those spaces to your profiles so that as you switch between spaces, you automatically switch between profiles. So let me go ahead and show you. Here I have personal. I'm going to create a new one, and let's call this one instructor. Okay. And I'm going to say use this space will use my instructor. Okay. and say, if you're prompted to switch it up, say, yep, switch it up. And you could maybe name yours personal and student, just so that you understand, okay, this is my student account versus my personal. Okay, so I've created 2 profiles. Now, I have a personal profile and I have an instructor profile. All right, so let's see this in action. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Gmail. Actually, I'm going to go to google.com here. Let's go to Google by pressing Command T. And I'm going to again sign in here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, come up here. I'm using 1Password for my password management tool. I highly recommend that you use a password management tool just because it can make it a lot easier to manage your passwords and also keep them secure. So I'm going through all the steps again I did last time. Here we go. I'm going to say yep. Okay. Say not now. All right. So I'm now signed in here. Okay. I'm in this space, and this space is tied to my instructor profile. Okay. And we'll rename this in a bit here. Okay. But now what I want to do is I want to say, okay, what if I want to have my personal profile tied to something here in ARC as well? Because right now, if I open a new tab, Command T, and I go to youtube.com, then I'm going to be in this professional profile. Great. That's good to know. Let's say not now. Okay. But what if I want to get to my personal one? Okay. So we're going to now come down here and we're going to use this second icon. So the library was here. We're going to use this plus one. This is going to add a new space. And we're going to talk a little bit more about spaces here in the next several lectures. Okay. But for now, we're just going to click this plus, and you'll bring up this menu that allows you to choose new folder, new space, new easel, new boost, new split, or new tab. So this plus button is the add or open something new. And I'm going to choose new space. And again, we're going to talk a bit more about new spaces in just a moment, okay? Okay, so when I do that, I'm prompted here to create a new space. So we're going to just call this example space because I'm going to delete it right after I create it. But I just want to show you how profiles work with spaces. So when I go to create this space, I'm prompted here to select the profile. So I'm going to choose personal. I'm not going to bother with a theme right now, and I'm just going to create the space. Okay, so space was created. Now I'm going to press Command T to open up my tab, and now I'm going to go to YouTube. And watch what happens. I'm not signed in. So I was in my instructor space previously, and I was signed in. But now I'm in this new space, and this space is specifically tied to my personal account. And as a result, I don't actually have access to that signed in Google instance in the other space. So this is how ARC manages profiles. Every space in the sidebar is going to be tied to a profile. And depending upon your sign-in status in that profile, you may or may not have access to some of the content in that space. All right, so we've covered a lot of material. Let's jump into a few more lectures to start breaking down the different components of ARC and how they work. And then we're going to start walking through what this means for you as a student. Okay, so in the next lecture, we're going to start up here at the very top with the navigation bar. Okay, so I'll see you there.